Ryan Coogler remains one of my favorite directors working in the industry. Fruitvale Station broke my heart. Creed rejuvenated my interest in the Rocky franchise. And now, Black Panther is one of the best installments of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Set shortly after the events of Civil War, T'Challa is still mourning the death of his father, King T'Chaka. As T'Challa returns home to the African nation of Wakanda, he returns also to take his rightful place as its new king. But when a powerful enemy suddenly appears, T'Challa's title of king and of Black Panther are tested. T'Challa is then faced with a difficult dilemma when that enemy threatens to reveal the secrets of Wakanda to the rest of the world. To the film's misfortune, Black Panther has been bogged down by politics before it was even released. Because people are excited to see a movie with a nearly all-black cast, helmed by a black director, which also tells the story of a superhero from Africa, a minority of people have decided to hate on this movie no matter what. Or at least, they've decided that any positive reviews must be coming from liberal outlets who are trying to be politically correct. This is absurd. Though Black Panther may not be the first black superhero film, as many memes about Blade or Spawn have pointed out, Black Panther is the first Hollywood-produced film that openly celebrates black excellence. This is the first time many people feel as though they are actually being represented in a positive light, and it is foolish to try and act like diverse representation in film isn't important. But regardless of any of the politics involved, no amount of anti-PC bullshit can take away from the fact that Black Panther is just a damn good movie. I have to start my praise with the production and costume design teams. Wakanda feels like a real lived-in place. Without Wakanda feeling like the wonderful utopia that we're told about, this movie probably wouldn't work. But the Afro-futuristic design, along with cinematographer Rachel Morrison's beautiful use of color, makes the setting feel gloriously wonderful. As with any Marvel film though, it's still easy to point out which scenes were filmed against a green screen. I'm not sure why Marvel can't seem to nail down compositing shots all the time, but it was less distracting here than it was in something like Thor Ragnarok. Chadwick Boseman is our hero, of course, and I don't even think I need to mention how great he is in the role. Boseman is charming and his presence just demands attention from the audience, which is perfect for T'Challa's character. As we've seen with his introduction in Civil War, T'Challa is a proud man who is willing to do whatever it takes to defend his people, which is where much of the conflict in Black Panther lies. What is the right thing to do for his people? Wakanda is a technologically advanced country that can provide aid to people all over the world, but they choose not to in order to secure their way of life. As king, T'Challa is faced with the dilemma of choosing to do more or choosing to stay hidden. I loved how personal his conflict is, as it makes the story all the more resonating. Though Boseman could have carried this film on his own, all of the female roles have fantastic standout performances. Letitia Wright plays T'Challa's younger sister Shuri, Danai Gurira plays the general of the Dora Milaje, and Lupita Nyong'o plays T'Challa's ex-girlfriend Nakia, and they are all outstanding. These ladies kick ass. They are fierce, strong, smart, independent women who all have essential roles in Wakanda's culture. Without these women, T'Challa wouldn't be able to do much of anything. I loved seeing Shuri outsmart him, Okoye outfight him, and Nakia expose his more vulnerable side. Every one of these characters brought a smile to my face, and I can't wait to see them in future Marvel films. Speaking of kick-ass, the action in Black Panther is top-notch. I was impressed with the way Coogler directed action pieces in Creed, and his style and talent transferred into the Marvel world brilliantly. The action scenes feel raw and grounded, yet they are all filled with fun kinetic energy. A brawl in a casino and a car chase in South Korea both particularly stand out to me. The music in this film is also fantastic. Kendrick Lamar's soundtrack accompanies more of the upbeat and action-oriented scenes, while Ludwig Göransson's score is obviously tied with the rest of the movie, but the music from both artists are implemented seamlessly into the film. This is easily one of Marvel's best soundtracks. Every scene benefited from having a score that felt so culturally rich. Martin Freeman and Andy Serkis returned from previous Marvel films, reprising their roles as Everett Ross and Ulysses Klaue, respectively. Though it is nice to see Freeman again, he doesn't really add much to the overall film. Serkis, however, had a very integral part in the story. Klaue finds himself aligned with Eric Stevens, aka Killmonger, and the motivation behind their pairing is at the crux of T'Challa's moral dilemma about Wakanda. Though I didn't care much for the look of Klaue's weird rubber hand cannon, it is clear as day that Andy Serkis was having a blast on set, so it was hard not to appreciate his presence. Now, at last, we get to Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger. Jordan also starred in Fruitvale Station and Creed, making this performance his third collaboration with director Ryan Coogler. It's easy to see why Coogler would reteam with Jordan so frequently. The dude has incredible acting talent. Unfortunately though, something feels off about Michael B. Jordan's performance as Killmonger. I'm not sure if it was the dialogue he was given, or the way he delivered some of his lines, or the fact that his character's arc does feel a bit rushed, but I've seen Jordan deliver better performances than this. Jordan usually offers much more complexity and nuance to the characters he plays, and his portrayal of Killmonger just lacks that something special. That being said, I'm merely distinguishing a good villain from a great one. Killmonger has a fantastic part in Black Panther's narrative, and he is leaps and bounds better than most other MCU villains. His backstory is tragic, and you can feel all the pain and anger that he has built up inside of him, making it genuinely heartbreaking to learn about his character. Killmonger has the best motivation for any MCU villain by far. It is the personal connection he shares with T'Challa that makes him a memorable foe. I'm sick of Marvel turning out weak villains with poorly written motivation, so even if I have just a few issues with Jordan's portrayal, Eric Killmonger Stevens will go down as one of Marvel's better villains. Though much of Black Panther is quite enjoyable, I can't help but feel as though the film rushes through its second act. There's just a lot of information that gets crammed into this part of the story. With how smooth the pacing was for the first and final acts, I assume most of whatever was originally cut out from the movie came from the middle act. Even though Black Panther currently sits at a 2-hour and 15-minute length, I would gladly have taken a longer cut of the film. If a 2.5-hour or longer runtime would make the film feel complete and fully fleshed out, then I'm all for having whatever makes the film stronger. Maybe a longer cut wouldn't have made the film any stronger, but I would still like to see those original cuts regardless. Daniel Kaluuya of Get Out fame and Forrest Whitaker also make an appearance in this film. Though they do a fine acting job, their characters didn't leave a lasting impression. Whitaker's character, Zuri, just didn't have the emotional impact that the filmmakers clearly intended. Though Black Panther is filled with heart, the emotional connection between Zuri and T'Challa could have been improved upon. Meanwhile, Kaluuya's character, W'Kabi, has an arc that feels rushed. W'Kabi is supposed to be T'Challa's best friend, yet he's willing to stand behind somebody else at the drop of a dime. This just harkens back to my point about the second act also feeling rushed out. Wakanda, for example, is supposed to be this utopian-like society, but it is also inexplicably at the edge of civil war? A little more time to flesh out these issues would have been beneficial to character growth and the plot as a whole. Black Panther is an important film. Despite what naysayers or hate groups may say, Black Panther has changed the game. Maybe not in terms of its storytelling, but in what it represents. Young black kids around the world now have a hero that they can look up to, who can actively encourage their interest in science, technology, and African culture in general. If having improved representation in a film where an entire people can feel positive, uplifted, and connected to their heritage in a way that inspires them to be better isn't important, then I don't know what is. The mid-credits scene in Black Panther felt as though Coogler himself was trying to talk to us. It is so easy for us to get wrapped up in the minutia of politics that we forget about each other. If we could get over stereotyping, judging, and condescending one another, maybe we could actually stand together and help each other out. Every single culture has so much more to offer than what we may just see on the outside. And if we would just take the time to learn and appreciate that, maybe we could all grow together towards a more positive future. Yes, that may sound impossibly idealistic, but that's what T'Challa and the Black Panther are all about. Black Panther may not be a perfect film. It has its flaws, but it is still a damn good movie. It is easily one of Marvel's best films because it is the first Marvel movie to be about something greater than itself. I'm gonna give Black Panther 4 out of 5 stars. Thanks for watching.